Just adjust the camera in here so that we can make sure that in the studio we are getting as much of the canvas as we can. We are live here. There we go. We're going to be painting clouds today. Okay, brushes that we're going to use. These are the brushes we're going to use. Oh, not that one. Makeup brush, small round, and a fine point. Let's jump back into what we're doing. Right now we're just getting an indication of some clouds back here. She's going to build the forward edge because our light source is coming this direction. So if that's where our light source is, then we just need to decide how the clouds sit there. We'll bring a few more down here. We'll give a bottom cap there. Get an indication over here. And then we'll switch over to our makeup brush. Our makeup brush is going to really nicely smooth that stuff out. Give us a little bit of depth. It's going to pull some of the titanium white into different areas and give us some translucence to our clouds. We can have a little bit of the background shining through. We want that. We want that fairly regularly in our clouds. We're just going to turn that a little bit at a time. Just kind of turn, turn, turn. As we do that, we're going to get a forward edge here. Any of the excess paint I'm going to pull down in here, and I'm going to use it down in the bottom of the painting. And our nice, bright, fluffy clouds got to have a little bit behind them there. Give it some atmospheric perspective in there. Atmospheric perspective. So the more atmosphere there is, the more blue the background's going to look because it's fading it out because you have atmosphere in between it. So any of you that didn't know what atmospheric perspective is, you now know. Pop that down. We want to bring some back down here. I want it to be down by the bottom of my horizon line. And it looks a little lonely over here. So I'm just going to put an indication right there. Okay, I'm going to pop into a different makeup brush. This is a smaller one. It has a different feel. What it'll do is pull more of the stuff, so I don't want to touch the outside edge of my highlight. Sorry about the movement of the camera. I'm still putting together my studio for live videos, so it's going to bounce a little bit because it is connected to my easel. Okay, I'm going to start pulling in my favorite color for the back of any kind of clouds. That would be Payne's Gray. I use a variety of paints. My favorite ones are by M. Graham & Co. M. Graham & Co. makes a fantastic paint. By the way, the best way to support the channel, why don't you go out and I want you to smash the like button and then hit subscribe. Make sure that you know where we are, what we're doing. And then, of course, go to the links that are in any of the videos. In this case, since it's live, what I want you to do is just go to imagicardgame.com. That's I-M-A-G-I cardgame.com. You should be able to find just about anything. You can also find a link in most of my videos to my Facebook channel and my Instagram. All right, let's get back to it. Now, M. Graham & Co. Show that paint one more time. M. Graham & Co. This paint, Payne's Gray especially, Payne's Gray is a great mixing medium. M. Graham & Co. probably has the most pigments of any other paint. And some of the others that I will use are Master's Touch, I prefer if I can find it in the thick body acrylic, and then heavy body if it's Liquitex. So those are just a few. We're going to take, and once you put some Payne's Gray on your palette, you've got to immediately get some water on it because it is a thick paint, lots of pigment. So you get some water in there on it, and then you can come in and just touch along the bottom of your clouds. You do want to give them kind of a heavy thing to sit on. And you'll notice I'm not doing any kind of delineation because I'm going to make my makeup brush do all of the work for me. Back to the makeup brush. Get it a little bit wet, wipe it off on your cloth, go immediately to the paint that you just put in. And you see it's just a nice mixing medium. It's semi-transparent, which means it'll mix through here. Give yourself a hard line on the back of this cloud. We're going to pop it down there. I think we'll pop this cloud behind it. So we're going to grab some of this extra up there and pull it down into here. Right there. Yeah, we're starting to get a really nice cloud formation now. Okay. Going to take our horizon line and we're going to just get the paint to mix and kind of fade itself out. Maybe we've got a little rain going on back there. And it's that easy to do clouds. Okay. All right. Well, that's not too bad so far. Let's see. Do we want to do anything more to get a bit in there? Yes. You know what we want to do? Since this is our highlight area, I'm going to teach you guys a trick. What makes clouds brighter? Yellow. Yellow makes white bright. That's right. Seems a little bit counterintuitive, but let me show you what I mean. I'm going to take some medium yellow, and I'm going to mix it with some white so that I get just, it's my titanium white. I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to go along the front part of these clouds, maybe get a little bit here in the middle because your clouds are three-dimensional. So think of it as a ball that's got a bunch of little bumps on it. Okay. There, just the forward edge, and then maybe an inside edge right there. A little bit back here, a little bit there, a little here, and some back here. And then we go back to our trusty makeup brushes. In this case, we're going to take the really tiny one. Work on the paint that you already put in first. We don't want to touch the forward edge too much. We just want to kind of pull that in because we want to leave that as a sharp edge. This one's a bit more indistinct. We don't care about the sharp edge. Then, of course, we need to get that just fuzzed out. And this one certainly is not very distinct, so we can get rid of that hard edge. And I'm not happy with the bottom of the clouds yet, so I'm going to dip back into my Payne's Gray. And this time I'm just going to use the makeup brush, and I'm just going to pull these right along here. This will make that cloud in the background dip back a little bit more. Then I'm going to get rid of that one and move back to one of my other makeup brushes, this one. This one's kind of got a chisel to it. It works very well. Get it a little wet, wipe it off on your towel, and pull the colors together. Always go with the paint that you put down first and then move forward from that paint because it is acrylic. It is going to dry quickly. All right, and if you have just tuned in, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. And if you'd like to buy some limited edition prints, then you can take a look at imagicardgame.com. That's IMAGI cardgame.com. And you can buy some limited edition prints of paintings. You can also try and find me on Facebook. I will have some links up in some of my other videos. So you'll notice I'm pulling some of that away so that I can get to the background. It's because clouds are not truly opaque unless they're giant storm clouds, but most of the time they are semi-transparent. All right. And there we go. There's some clouds. Once we got our clouds in, if I want to, I can bring another color of blue into the clouds just to see if I want to do anything with it, or I can make them a little darker. If I want to make them more storm clouds, which why not? Let's just go ahead and make one of those a little bit more of a storm cloud. We're going to dip into some burnt umber. We'll just put a little bit of burnt umber in there, and you're like, no, it's too brown. Yes. Well, that's okay, because once we bring this in, you're just moving the paint around. You can do it with raw umber as well. Maybe burnt umber is a little bit too bright for what you're looking at. In this case, I'm pretty happy with the way it turns out. And I'll just mix that a bit more. Fuzz it out, get some on there, pull some down here. And we've got a little bit more depth to our cloud, a little more color to it. And if you don't like that, if you say, hey, that's a little too much, go back into your Payne's Gray. Get some Payne's Gray put in there, go back to your makeup brush, and then just use the Payne's Gray to fuzz it out. And that is, as they say, that. And you know what? I want a little bit, since I made that a little darker, I want a darker line along the bottom of my cloud here. So I'm just going to use my small brush, my really fine point, to bring some in. Then I'm going to take and just pull along there. I don't want too hard of a line on it, so I'm going to fuzz it up here, just kind of drag that paint a bit. Look like it's raining a bit. And if you want to go back in, get a little bit more of that. There we go. And now that we've made it a storm cloud, I'm going to darken up the back just a little bit. These makeup brushes make your job so much faster and easier. And maybe one of these days I'll get sponsored by one of those companies for makeup brushes. I don't even know what this one is. I just pick them up from whichever store I can walk into, and I take a look at the brushes, and if they look soft enough, I'll pick them up. Now we've got a very heavy storm cloud. And if it looks like it is too much, come in with, clean your brush off and soften it up again. You get some nice movement in there so that you get some paint that's pulled away from the other sections. And there it is. Okay, now I'm pretty happy with it. And that's all we're going to do today. Okay, thanks for tuning in.